Hey, Shalom Akim, Shalom. Hold up. Hey, Akim, Shalom, Shalom. First thing and foremost, I'd like to give all praises and glory, honor that's due to Yahweh, Ba'ashim Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashim Kakwadash. I'd like to give double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Blessings and salutations to the hopeful elect. Noise in the gospel, brother, the standard of Yahweh, Ba'ashim Yahweh Shai, wherever they may be. This is a quick lesson through the spirit. Title, Atmosphere of War. North Korea said 1.4 million people just enlisted to fight the U.S. Wow. And Kim Jong-un calls for war readiness. Over 1.4 million North Koreans offered to join army to fight U.S. Man, nations are sick of Babylon, man. Okay, they're sick of Esau. And that's funny how these other nations are enlisting in war to fight to fight for their country, but you notice that nobody in America is signing up for a draft. Okay, because they've lost hope in this place and understand that America is the ultimate enemy of the known world. Okay, like the scriptures say, the nations have drunk the wrath or the fornication or I get it, I can't really quote it. But the scriptures go into them drinking of the partaking in the fornication, therefore the nations are mad. So World War III is inevitable, man. Okay, and the spirit and power of Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahweh Shai, man. Hey, Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahweh Shai is getting ready to make a big move, because this is a big move according to prophecy. 1.4 million young people, okay, able men, okay, like we read in Ezekiel the 23rd chapter about young men, buckler and shield. They getting ready to come against America, man. Okay, it says brags about 1.4 million people have joined this army in 3 days to wipe out U.S. because that's how pissed off they are. Yeah, this is a rumor of war, and this is what Yahweh Shai prophesied about, as we read in the book of Matthew, Luke, and Mark. And matter of fact, let's get that real quick in the book of Mark, and just hit a couple of precepts here and there. The book of Mark 13, and I'm gonna start at verses 3. It says, "And as he sat upon the Mount of Olives over against the temple, Peter and James and John and Andrew asked him privately, 'Tell us, when shall these things be? And what should be the sign of your..." It says, "And what should be the sign when all these things shall be fulfilled?" So they asked Yahweh Shai, when was he going to come back, and what's some of the things we could look forward to as to establishing the kingdom, because they thought in their present time that Yahweh Shai is going to come and start the kingdom in that time. That's why the disciples was geeked when the Lord came on the scene, because they was like, oh shit, our Savior's coming. He's getting ready to set up the kingdom of heaven. We're getting ready to get salvation. But no, they didn't understand the following way had to come. Had to go back into captivity. Esau had to go into captivity. Then we had to go back into captivity. And these prophecies had to manifest themselves in this time. Because at that time, the fourth beast was set up. But the MARK wasn't really until another 2,000 years after. Because remember, the fourth beast being the Roman Empire. So they was in a time of the last beast, which is the fourth beast, which is this current Roman Empire. But this is the latter half of it. Okay, because when the Romans came on the scene after the Greeks went down, that was the first, or that was the beginning of the last rulership of this fourth kingdom. It says, "And Yahweh Shai began to say, 'Take heed lest any man deceive you.' It says, 'For many should come in my main name, saying, I am the anointed, and shall deceive many. And ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars, but be ye not troubled. For such things must need be, but the end shall not be yet.' It says, 'For nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom. And there shall be earthquakes in divers places, and there shall be famines and troubles, and these are the beginning of sorrows.'" So these are the beginning of sorrows. Okay, wars, rumors of wars. Okay, fucking homelessness, man. Okay, health issues. People are literally getting laid off from their jobs. Like Amazon, they laid off millions of people since this whole supply chains of goods have been halted for the most part since the whole pandemic. Okay, and then you got the American that's scrabbling to recruit people. They can't get anybody that's really capable of fighting a war. That's why they're gonna have to bring back a draft. But it says North Korea said 1.4 million people just enlisted to fight the U.S. So that's a lot of people, man. Okay, and shit, America, how many people are in them? Let me see. Let me look up the numbers real quick. How many people are enlisted in the U.S. Army or U.S. Armed Forces? Because that's a lot of people, man. Okay, So 2021, there were active 482,416 active members in the U.S. Army. Damn. It says most active duty members within the U.S. within 157,639. Okay. Then you also have reserves as well. So you got reserves and then you got active military. So it reads there are more a total of 195 million active military duty military, more than 778,000 reserve forces according to September 2021. So they give you two different things, man. It says from the Department of Defense, it says total active duty members for the 5 armed services were 426,624. It says for the Army 306,272, in the Navy 147,000, Marine Corps 200,000, and the Air Force / Special Coast Guard 39,000, which that's actually the hardest form of military to get in, is the Air Force, because the test is a little bit more aptitude oriented. The Air Force is the more privileged people, I say, the people that's more privileged, so to speak. So anyway, going back to the precepts here, and it reads, and it says, and when you should hear the wars and rumors of wars, be ye not troubled, for such things must need be, but the end shall not be yet. For nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom. There should be earthquakes in diverse places, and there should be famines and troubles, and these are the beginning of sorrows. Okay, so yeah, man, Yahweh Shai directly told us of these particular events, man, because hey, the place that's out of Babylon, okay, like the scriptures say, Babylon has been a golden cup in the Lord's hand, and that's absolutely true. Babylon the Great has been a golden cup in Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai's hand, because they were set up for a particular purpose, okay, to bring hell and to bring chaos around the world. Okay, like Esau, he's known as the agent of chaos. According to Revelation, the 6th chapter, the red horse that was set up to take peace from the earth, and that's this devil. Because the reason why the nations are at war, because Esau, Edom, has come to destabilize the nations, setting up particular programs in these nations, setting up no-fly zones in sovereign lands, setting up central banks, stealing the harvest and resources. All these are particular abatements that this man has done to these nations, to the point they're pissed off. And then he bribed them under the U.S. dollar. Well, if you accept the dollar, then you in good shape. But who the hell wants to be indebted to that slave note? Because the only reason why the U.S. dollar is even in power is due to the military. It's backed by the military. And we say petrol dollar, but it's really backed by the military. That's what it's being backed by. Okay, nothing more, nothing less. Yeah, oil, but other nations, they're switching over to particular currencies like the BRICS nations. Then you got Saudi Arabia, which has affected them greatly. That's left a patent bond with America. Okay, and they're looking to go over to BRICS, if I'm not mistaken. But this is the book of Jeremiah 51, and I'm gonna start at verses 3. It says here, against him that bendeth, let his archer bend his bow, and against him that lifted himself up in his brigade, and spare ye not her young men, destroy ye utterly all her hosts. That's talking about this whole setup, this whole image. Okay, when those missiles are shot from point A to point B, that's what it's talking about, because this place is going to go down by thermonuclear destruction, right along with the chariots. It says, thus the slain shall fall in the land of the Chaldeans, which is America, and they that are thrust through in her streets, because you're going to have civil war over here, and the missiles are going to come over here. It says, for Israel have not been forsaken, nor Judah of his power. It says, and the Lord of hosts, though their land was filled with sin, and the Holy One of Israel, but flee out of the midst of Babylon, and deliver every man his soul, and be not cut off of her iniquity. For this is the time for the Lord's vengeance. He will render her other recompense. And Babylon has been a golden cup in the Lord's hand, that made all the earth drunken. The nations have drunken our wine, therefore the nations are mad. Okay, prime example, North Korea. They've been at odds since the last fucking 20 years plus. Okay, they're not vibing. Russia, okay, fucking Saudi Arabia, which was an ally of America. Turkey has turned their back on America. Okay, what else? Fucking China. But you got Taiwan and Japan as primitive allies of America. But still, all these nations, even NATO and the EU, they're looking at America with a wayward eye because of this whole petrodollar nonsense, and the fact that they're destabilizing these nations, and they're causing harm and how can I say it? They're causing issues among their fucking counterparts, man. Let's see what the comments say here. That's it. Yeah, and if you see in the comments, these are brothers that's literally like they're literally, you know, just like, let's go, because motherfuckers are fed up with this place, man. You know, people are fed up with this place. It says, Revelation 17:2, and they came one of the 7 angels which had the 7 vials to talk with me, saying unto me, come hither, and I will show unto thee the judgments of the great whore that sitteth upon many waters. Okay, the nations, the people, of whom the kings of the earth have committed fornication, and the inhabitants of the earth have been made drunk with the wine of her fornication, the philosophies. Now that Momo shit is spreading all over the world. Why? Because Babylon. And this is the precept here where we just read in the book of Jeremiah, the 51st chapter. 51:7, Babylon have been a golden cup in the Lord's hand, and have made all the earth drunken, and the nations have drunken of her wine, therefore the nations are mad. But Babylon is suddenly fallen and destroyed. Howl for her and take balm for her pain. If so, she may be healed, and she's not going to be healed, because it says we would have healed Babylon, but she is not healed. So forsake her and let us go every one into his own country, for her judgment reaching into heaven, meaning the judgment reached into the Most High. Basically, the Most High's tolerance levels is through with this place. He's tired of it. It's like, okay, now it's time to really destroy this place, and it's time for me to stomp ass out. Enough is enough. And, hey, we there with him. Okay, honestly speaking, man, I wish the Lord would have came back like yesterday to get us from this hell, you know, but we must endure. Scriptures say he endured to the end. The same shall be saved. Okay, so it's all about endurance, brothers. Remember, Joel 3. And I'm gonna start at verses let's start at verses 9. Proclaim ye this among the Gentiles, you heathen. Prepare war and wake up the mighty men, and let all the men of war draw near. Let them come up and beat your plowshares into swords and your pruning hooks into spears, and let the weak say I am strong. That's North Korea. I mean, they popping big shit. Hey, we'll blow you off the map. 1.4 million soldiers enlisted to blow this place off the map. That means that prophecy is moving along, man. And then you got China. They got like over 1 billion people. They got a 1 million man army. So add them to the North Koreans. That's well over 200 soldiers, 2 million soldiers. And then you got Russian, you got Iran. You got your hands full, buddy. Okay, and you're not going to be able to take on all these nations by yourself, because your own allies are going to come against you. It says, beat your plowshares into swords, which plowshare represents a instrument of work, like a working instrument. Okay, a plowshare is something you plow the field with. Said, fuck working, it's time to go to war. Okay, and your pruning hooks into spears, and let the weak say I'm strong. And assemble yourselves and come, all ye heathen, and gather yourselves together round about. Thither cause thy mighty ones to come down, O Yahweh. But let the heathen be awakened and come up to the valley of Jehoshaphat. For there I will sit to judge all the heathen round about. And put ye in the sickle, for the harvest is ripe. But come get you down, for the press is full and the fats overflow. For the wickedness is great, man. Okay? All you nations are going to suffer. Not just America, all you nations. But America is going to get the top, or the worstest judgment, because they are the spearhead behind all this wickedness, man. Okay? Habakkuk 2:3, it says, for the vision is yet for an appointed time, but at the end it shall speak and not lie. Shit is not lying. Shit, we clearly in a time of war. Though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come, it will not tarry. Okay? Behold, his soul which is lifted up in him is not upright in him, but the just shall live by his faith. Okay? Yea, also because he transgressed by wine, he is a proud man, neither keep it at home, who enlargeth his desire is hell, and is deaf, and cannot be satisfied, but gather unto him all nations, and heaping unto him all people. Yep, taking over the nations, putting your rulerships, putting your puppet leaders into these countries. The nations are sick of it. Venezuela, they're like, fuck this shit, man. Even Mexico is thinking about coming against you. And it says, should not these take up a parable against him, and a taunting proverb against him, that say, woe to him that increaseth that which is not his, but how long to him that lad himself with thick clay? Okay, and hey, once again, it says to join to fight U.S. imperialists, man, to wipe out the U.S. They're not playing, man. They're serious about this. It says, should they not rise up suddenly that shall bite thee, and the weight that shall vex thee, and thou shalt be for booties unto them? And because thou hast spoiled many nations, all the remnant of the people shall spoil thee, because of men's blood, and for the violence of the land, for the city, and all that dwell therein. Okay? So, you through, bro. Alright? But woe to him that coveted evil covenants to his house, that he may set his nest on high, that he may be delivered from the power of evil. You ain't gonna be delivered from Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai, man. Alright? last precept, Revelation 9, and I'm going to start at verses 13. It says, "And the sixth angel sounded, and I heard a voice from the four horns of the golden altar, which is before the Most High, saying to the six angels which had the trumpet, Loose the four angels which are bound by the great river Euphrates. And the four angels were loose, which were prepared for an hour and a day and a month and a year for to slay a third part of men, as you Edomites. And the number of the army of the horsemen were 200,000. I heard the number of them. And I saw the horses in the vision, and them that sat on them, having the breastplates of fire and jacinth and brimstone. And the heads of horses were the heads of lions, and out of their mouth issued fire, smoke, and brimstone. And by these three was the third part of men killed by the fire and by the smoke and by the brimstone which issued out of their mouth," which is the nuclear missiles. So it makes sense that we're going to be in a nuclear war because these nations have nuclear capability. All right. So anyway, I'm going to end it there. All praises and glory and honor that's due to Yahweh Ba'ashim and Yahweh Shai. And with that, Shalom and a Baba Ball.